Hey everybody, how are you? It's been a long time since we last spoke. Life has been a little bit different. I've just been very busy working on my job and working on getting TEFL certified. So I've kind of been trying to kind of motivate and focus on those things right now as I'm kind of behind, and I'm kind of trying my best to kind of fix that and work on just things that I know need to be pushed for and are more a little bit important. But I have missed you guys a lot, and I'm so happy to be back on here and to be back doing a video. I really am. It's just so good to see all of you. And today I kind of wanted to talk about, just some things happening in my life right now, along with getting into something very important and interesting that I recently found. So, I wanted to talk about my Aunt Jerry and her DNA test results. So, my Aunt Jerry's results have not come in yet. And one of the reasons why is because when she sent in her first sample that I helped her with, which I should have FaceTimed her because I knew that she wasn't going to do it right if I didn't FaceTime her. But see, she's older. She's almost 80 years old, and she doesn't know about that FaceTime. So even if I was to explain to her what FaceTime is and how to do it, she wouldn't know how to do it, if that makes sense. So we just did it over the phone. Her results were going through, they were getting done, and then all of a sudden, I get an email saying that she has to redo her test because her results were not, you know, her saliva sample was not enough. So here I am, like, oh my goodness, well, at least it's gonna be a free one. So I order the free one, it gets back to her. And when it gets to her, I told her, I said, call me when you get your kit. I will be tracking it. I will know when it gets to you. Just let me know when you want us to do it. She wanted her daughter to help her, which is my cousin. And my cousin, I don't know what's going on with her even to this day, but she hasn't been answering her phone. And Aunt Jerry hasn't been able to get in contact with her until just recently. So because my cousin wasn't answering her phone, you know, it was kind of like Aunt Jerry was getting impatient. So I was trying to call Aunt Jerry to help her, but she wouldn't answer the phone. I mean, almost for a whole week, she didn't answer the phone. So I was kind of out of options for a little bit. And I just kind of gave up and just didn't call her for a little bit. Then I finally called her back. Well, I tried a couple more times, she didn't pick up. Then I finally called her back and she answered. So she tells me pretty much that she was pretty much done with waiting and she did the test on her own. I was really upset with that because I wish she would have called me and did it with me, because when she did the test, she said when she tried to mix the solution with her saliva, it spilled a little bit, which isn't a problem. That's not too much of a problem for me. My main issue is the fact that I don't know how I don't know if she put the right amount of saliva in the tube. You know what I mean? Like, the first time she didn't do it right and I helped her. Imagine what it would be if she did it herself. I never wanted her to do it herself. So when she did it herself, I was a little aggravated because I'm just kind of like, I was calling you nonstop, you know, and I could have helped you. But she wanted to do it herself. So she did it herself and she sent it in. So her kit should get back to the lab Monday or Tuesday. But I'm not sure if she did it right. And that's what scares me, because if she didn't do it right the second time, I can't pay for a second kit for her. And she said, if it's not right, she'll pay for her own. So that's what it'll have to be if she doesn't do the second one right. And that sucks because I hope it's right, because I really want to see her results and I really want to see where we come from. But it's really hard to do that when you have family that's not really reliable. Like my father's side of the family, they're not really reliable. And with my Aunt Jerry, like, I'm kind of the only one that's really interested in this stuff. She's interested in it too when it comes to like me and her. Like, I'm the only one who can really help her. She depends on her daughter for a lot. But like, she just did it on her own, and now I'm just kind of like, well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm like 100% sure she didn't do it right. Now, I'm probably wrong, but I know my Aunt Jerry, and I know she probably didn't do it right. That's gonna suck. That's gonna suck. Because then, if she didn't do it right this time, she's probably not gonna get her results depending on when she buys a new one until like October, November, or whatever. So, I mean, I don't know what else to do, you know? So, we'll just figure it out as we go. So, other than that, I wanted to talk about trace regions. So, let's talk about trace regions. So, I found something very interesting that I read about when I was just kind of going through like my DNA composition. And you guys kind of know how I was explaining that, trace regions. I don't think I ever said that trace regions didn't mean anything. I think I explained that they do mean something. There's a very small percentage, and they may not be a part of your DNA, or they may. So I always explain that with the trace region, if you cannot pinpoint it in your DNA at all, a relative or anything, most likely it's just noise, which in a way, I guess I will still agree with. But according to 23andMe, that is not true. So when I went into the trace regions of it, trace ancestry, which I'm trying to find what I found because now it's like I can't find it. So here it is. It says it says, what does it mean to have what does it mean to have a trace ancestry? It says small amounts of ancestry can be small small amounts of ancestry can mean different things for different people, and you may have to do some digging to learn what your trace ancestry's 1% or less mean for you. We report ancestry composition results as small as 0.1% because our algorithm does a very good job estimating ancestry for each small piece of the genome. We believe that sharing your exact results allows you to get the most information, even though sometimes interpretation of those results isn't easy. This is where I really found it interesting and kind of liked it because it kind of explained more and kind of, shedded more light. So it says you can learn more by looking at your chromosome painting, which is what I look at all the time. But it says your 0.1% ancestry is more likely to reflect a real genetic history, meaning it's less likely to be noise. And it literally says it here, and it's less and less likely to reflect random chance. So, if it is still assigned at the higher confidence levels, another way to gain confidence in your ancestry estimate is to connect with close relatives and see whether their results also include small amounts of the same ancestry. So I'm guessing if it's less likely to to mean chance, to mean noise, but I'm guessing they're also saying like if you go through your levels like 90% and stuff and it still shows, then most likely it's still part of your ancestry. Now I I'm not really sure. I mean, I know about my Central South Asian and my North African is in a way accurate because I know like Hispanics usually have, the North African. It can range from different percentages depending on where you are in your family line. And I know about the South Asian ancestry because of my father's side. So, um, it was just really interesting. It was a really interesting read and find. And I just really thought it was something good to like kind of know and look into. Um, and other than that, I wanted to really get into more talks about not, about kind of learning more about my Hispanic heritage and what it is being Hispanic and like trying to really dig more deep into my roots. I've also really found like a higher connect with the fact that I connect more with actual African culture than African American culture here in America. And also, I wanted to talk a lot about kind of how I recently saw this one woman, and her video was 2 years ago, but see, I found through her African results that she had something in her DNA, which it was 0.3%, but it was still part of her DNA that I have not seen yet on any person of African ancestry's DNA test result, at least from a 23andMe test. And what I saw was it said uh, Great River or Great Rift Valley Bantu. And that was very interesting because I haven't seen one person of African ancestry with that result yet. At least with that at all. So I thought that was interesting. Um, so I wanted to look more into that as well. So that is all I have for right now for you guys. I kind of really wanted to talk about the trace regions and kind of what they mean, and how you should kind of look at it from a lens. Maybe that could be a deeper thing you can kind of dig into. So definitely do that. I will definitely be doing that. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.